Hi, I'm Sweetie Abochi, and this is the AM News Bulletin. Let's start right away. Now, students in both public and private schools in Obuasi will, for the next 2 days, miss classroom hours amidst tensions in the gold mining town. Some illegal miners in the community clashed violently with military personnel when they allegedly breached the security fence at one of the mining concessions of Anglo Gold Obuasi mine. The confrontation resulted in the tragic killing of at least 8 miners, with several others sustaining varied injuries. Now, although heavy security had been deployed to the area, students in the gold mining community have been directed to stay away from the school. Emmanuel Bright Kweku was in the community and our reports.
In the early hours of Sunday, some illegal miners in Obuasi went on rampage following the killing of their colleagues in a clash with the military. The illegal miners had besieged one of the abandoned concessions of Anglo Gold Ashanti when they were confronted by military personnel on guard. Baba, who narrowly escaped the open fire, recounts events leading to the shooting incident.
300 plus. Nti soldier phone ba na dem be pack yem castle ho. And a soldier commander no call the chino G phone or receive call be.
Those of us there were more than 300. When the soldiers came, they came to park their vehicles, and the commander stepped back to receive a call. During that time, our leaders were on their knees, pleading with them. After the call, he cocked his gun and opened fire on us. They shot for almost 30 minutes.
Almost 30 minutes. Almost 30 minutes. Meanwhile, soldier, Obi Jania, see and shoot in what I say, but almost shoot
At least 8 of the miners have been confirmed dead, while several others sustained varied degrees of injury to their arms, chest, legs, and other body parts. What wrong have you done, AGA? We are living in our own town, but you are denying us food, and now you are killing us. Everyone finds livelihood from the communities they live in, so must we. We did not go to where the company is working. We went to an abandoned site.
More than 7-8 good years.
The Ghana Armed Forces in a statement indicated they returned fire in self-defense when the illegal miners fired at their troops on duty. The irate miners, in retaliation, hit the principal streets of the town and set ablaze 4 vehicles of subcontractors of the mine, of which one crashed into a nearby shop and torched properties. We couldn't salvage anything. It's only yesterday that my sister restocked the shop. Over 30,000 cedis worth of items have been destroyed. So where I'm currently standing is the Obuasi traffic light in Obuasi. And what you see behind me is a debris of some of the vehicles that were bent in the morning when the illegal miners came to this particular enclave to render their displeasure for what has happened at the mine. And just across the road or down the road is where it leads to the mine, one of the mining concessions that we have, or the main Anglo Gold Ashanti Obuasi mine area. But for the residents who live in this particular community, they are saying that they want security tightened in the coming days because they do not know what would happen. We do not know what has happened in Tutuka. A little movement in town, then everyone begins to run away. Hear the siren wailing. It's scary living here now. I woke up at dawn and all of a sudden I am confronted with this. You can't have a peace of mind here. Both private and public schools in Obuasi East and Obuasi municipalities have been temporarily closed down amidst the escalations. Students and teachers of these schools have been asked to stay home for 2 days until tempers are calmed. George Kumson is Director of Education at Obuasi Municipality.
We cannot guarantee the safety of both learners and then teachers. So we discussed with the Regional Director of Education, and we have agreed that for tomorrow and possibly Tuesday, let's look at the situation. If it's calm, then we go back to school.
How would this impact education in Obuasi?
The contract hours for tomorrow will be made, and if it is made, I mean, as you are aware, means that getting back the hours to recoup whatever should have been lent will be gone.
The mining company has also instituted a raft of measures to safeguard their workers, including asking them to avoid official uniforms and any other items that associate them to the company. Samuel Abuaje is a member of parliament for Obuasi East.
Military some of us will go into detail.
Some of us will go into detail the actions of the military. We will make sure the laws deal with anyone who gave the command for the military to open fire. Nobody is above the law. Meanwhile, President Mahama has directed AGA to absorb the medical costs of injured persons as it sets out to investigate circumstances leading to the tragic incident. For Joy News, my name is Emmanuel Bright-Kweko.
We'll discuss that matter in detail later on in our big stories. But in other stories, Joseph Teboribe, an IT assistant at the University of Ghana, faces a mobility crisis after his only vehicle, essential for his daily commute and independence, was stolen. Now, despite reaching out to prominent leaders, including Ghana's immediate past president and the current sitting president, his calls for support has gone unanswered. This setback threatens its ability to continue empowering individuals with special needs. Joy News' Colin Swimpong has the rest of the story.
Born in the northern region of Ghana, Makawadum's dreams once centered on becoming a lawyer. But in 1994, the Guinea-Fowl conflict turned his life upside down, leaving him permanently disabled, forcing him to chart a new course.
I fell ill. That was in 1994. And as then, there was a conflict in the northern region. If you ever heard of Guinea-Fowl conflict. So the hospitals were not operating. So they were just using the local herbs to treat it. They didn't even know what it was. And I was in a room from 94 to year 2000. I started using wheelchair year 2000. Yeah, by the time that they were able to take me to hospital, but then I couldn't stretch my legs and I couldn't even stand up again.
Today, Makawadum is a beacon of hope for many. As an IT assistant at the University of Ghana, he dedicates his life to equipping young people with special needs with digital skills, opening doors to opportunities in the tech world. But even heroes face battles. For Makawadum, his independence hinged on a lifeline, his 2013 Hyundai Elantra. That car, stolen last year, was more than just a vehicle. It was his mobility, his freedom, and a crucial tool in his mission.
For right now, it's not easy because my car is no more with me, because it was there to aid my movement and all that. Because looking at this wheelchair, it's manual one, and it's so old. But because I was having the car, because I don't use it, I just get down from the car and use it to enter where I want to enter. So I wasn't paying much attention to getting a new wheelchair or anything like that because the car was there. But the moment the car was stolen in June, I have to rely on the manual wheelchair every day. I work close at 5 p.m. But because of the traffic and I have to wait and then leave the office maybe around 8:30 or 9. For Fridays, then I'll leave like 9:30 because Friday the traffic at that area is not easy. So I have to leave late so that I can come home on my own. Yeah.
Despite this setback, Makawadum remains resolute. He is currently developing an innovative software designed to help visually impaired individuals read images. A groundbreaking project born out of empathy and determination.
So even the challenge that they are facing there is about images, because and then the charts. Though the software that they are using, NVDA and the JAWS, it can tell them that it's an image or it's a chart and all that, but it doesn't describe everything into details for them. So I'm working around the clock that my projects, I want to focus on that we can maybe integrate an IT image description tool that it can describe the image into details for them to understand what it is about.
Yet, the lack of mobility continues to weigh heavily. Makawadum has reached out to government agencies and prominent leaders, including Ghana's immediate past president and the current president. His appeals for assistance has, however, been met with silence.
Because when they stole my car, I wrote a petition to the president. It passed it to the Accra regional minister. It didn't get to the president. Whether it get to them and they didn't work on it. I went to CID head office. I sent a petition. Nothing. National Security Head Office. I sent a petition. I've not heard anything till today. I sent it to Yoko. Only Yoko that they reply and send me a mail. And they even wrote a letter and sent it to a dispatch rider to come and give to me. That because it's with the Ghana police, they're supposed to work on it. If Ghana police extend the request to them, then they will know what to do. Till now, I sent a petition to John Mame's office, and I even wrote a request. But then he was in opposition, because I wrote to the president, I wrote to him too. I went there twice in his office, went and submitted it myself. They said they were working on it till now. Now even the office number they gave me, if I call, they don't pick answer again.
For Makawadum, his silence speaks to a broader issue, the systemic neglect of people with disabilities in Ghana. Public spaces and infrastructure remain largely inaccessible, making daily life a constant challenge.
In Ghanaian society, it's on the paper, but practically it's not there. Because you go around, you see that even the new buildings that they are constructing on campus, or even in Ghana, you see that you go there, you can't access the place. Because they don't add that into, they don't consider it. But one thing is that, as I said, I wasn't born like this. Anything can happen, and you end up using a wheelchair, or you lose your sight. There that you face the reality, and you know that no, the people were not joking, they were saying the truth. The society is not being fair to them.
Despite these hurdles, Makawadum's passion for empowering others remains unshaken. Dreams of a future where technology bridges gaps and creates opportunities for all. But to continue his work, he needs the public support. A new vehicle would restore his mobility and enable him to keep making a difference.
As I said, if I'm going to cross the road, let's say maybe in the morning, I couldn't wake up early, and then the student have exams at 7. I'm not getting a car to go, and I'm going and I can't cross the road, and nobody is there to help me cross. What will happen? I'll end up either losing my job, or the student will not be able to write the paper. And if I force myself to cross, I may lose my life in the process. So now my mobility is very, very important. I believe in myself that if I'm able to get what I need and I work independently on my own, I'll get all that I want for myself. Now my mobility is the most important thing to me.
For Makawadum Joseph Tiborbe, every challenge is a chance to innovate and inspire. But now he needs help to keep moving. Collins Frimpon's report.
23 constituency organizers of the National Democratic Congress in the Central Region have expressed their heartfelt appreciation to President John Dramani Mahama for appointing Eko Penyi Eduamwa as Central Regional Minister. At a news conference in Cape Coast, the organizers noted that the Central Region faces significant challenges, including stalled infrastructure projects and high youth unemployment, and they expressed optimism in Mr. Eduamwa's capacity to lobby for the revival of key projects in the region. Joseph Kojo-Mensah addressed the news conference.
As field marshals, we feel honored and humbled by the trust the President have in the 7 executives and are rewarding them accordingly. We also have confidence in the abilities of Honorable Eko Penyi, a grassroots person himself, who will work diligently to justify the trust reposed in him by the Apontor, the Central Region, and our great party, the NDC. Central Region needs unity at all levels, and we have full confidence in Honorable Eko opinion that he has what it takes to bring about the needed cohesion. Central Region is lagging behind infrastructure development. We, the organizers, believe in the capabilities of Honorable Eko opinion to lobby for our share of the national cake. The youth in the region needs jobs. Forward-looking as you have been, we expect nothing less than he working to revive the following abandoned project. 1, the sugar factory at Komenda. 2, operationalize the fisheries university at Anamabo, making sure the fishing processing plant at Elimina, which is the second largest in West Africa, is also operationalized. We also ask him that if he takes office, he should look at the nursing and teachers training college at Ejumaku Bisianse. These are and others that are job creating ventures will be put in operation. We cannot conclude this presser without mentioning also the appointment of Honorable Kesel Atuba Forsen, Doctor, as the Finance Minister. Nanama Kluche as Environmental Protection Agency CEO, and also the acting spokesperson for the President, Felix Ufosu Kwachi. The appreciation from the body will equally not end without mentioning the President's selection of Professor Nana Opoku Ajiman as the running mate and subsequently becoming the first female Vice President in Ghana. Central Region will forever be grateful to you, Your Excellency.
In more news, the Northern Regional Minister nominee, Adolf John Ali, has identified peace and security, education and health as the major areas he would focus on if approved as the Northern Regional Minister. He emphasized that peace is a prerequisite for any development agenda to thrive. Mr. Adolf Ali made these remarks in an interview with Joy News. Here's more.
The Northern Region is one of the regions that has suffered violent conflicts ranging from chieftaincy, religion, land, ethnic, among other conflicts. These conflicts have in the past led to the loss of life and properties. But speaking to Joy News, Northern Regional Minister Designate Adolf Ali is assuring that no single blood will be dropped under his reign as minister if he's given the nod.
First and foremost, looking for peace within this region. I want to ensure that there's total peace, absolute peace in my region. And so myself, the chiefs, the religious leaders, opinion leaders, and all the stakeholders, the security agencies, I will ensure that we have periodic meetings just to discuss security issues, to avoid any conflict. Instead of waiting to resolve conflict, we work more, even if it means to spend much on avoiding conflict. For me, that is better, because if there is conflict, we can lose lives. Some of the lives that we are busy losing, perhaps these are people who have ascended to higher positions and maybe improve upon our lives. And so I will do everything possible not to let us lose any property or life as a result of conflict. And so peace is one thing that I will take very, 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 very serious.
He said he would also prioritize education and health under his watch. Mr. Adolf said his experience living with the 3 major tribes in the region would be a plus in helping govern the region.
Some of the hinterlands, the schools, we don't have the number of teachers that we have there. You understand? You go to our hospitals, we don't have the number of doctors and nurses that we have there. The few that we have, some are even struggling to go back. I will do everything possible on the educational system. Myself, the district directors, group directors, all the decentralized departments, I will ensure that I bring them on board. And then we'll see what we can do to improve upon the educational standard in our region. So I'll work hand in hand with the district executives be very, very strict on the chief executive to ensure that they deliver. The educational sector will take it very serious. Agriculture sector will take it very serious.
Now that takes us into our business update segment with Benjamin Akakpo.
Thanks for staying. Coming up in business, senior finance lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Dr. Benjamin Amwa, is optimistic the setting up of the Gold Board will bring about transparency in accounting for gold exports in Ghana. His comment follows the appointment of Sammy Jemfi as the managing director of PMMC, with a task to set up a gold board for short, for sustainable management of Ghana's gold resources. Speaking to Joy Business, Dr. Amwa indicated that the board could help to account for Ghana's gold export.
It's very possible that can happen because you see, it is also appearing that the gold board is likely to play a similar role of what cocoa board is doing in the area of cocoa. That is my suspicion. But because in the manifesto, the details of the gold board was not clearly spelled out, it's difficult for one to understand exactly what they're going to do. But clearly, if you read between the lines, it is going to be something like the Ghana Cocoa Board. But this time around, in the area mainly focusing on small-scale mining, because that is where there has been a lot of issues and a lot of lack of transparency. For the large-scale mining companies, sometimes documentations and trail on their activities is easy. But if you look at the small-scale mining, it's sometimes a bit difficult to know what is happening there. So if we have the board, definitely the issue of transparency will be much more clearer for all industry players to have their eye into and to appreciate what is happening, most especially in the area of the small-scale mining sector.
Now, CEO of the Chamber of Agribusiness, Anthony Morrison, has attributed the rise in food inflation to the failure of previous governments to support farmers ahead of the dry season. Speaking in an interview with Joy Business, Mr. Morrison urged the current Agric Minister designate to swiftly intervene to ensure food security for the next 3 months.
The first thing was that as a country last year, we registered at this time, prior to planting season, there was a drought spell. So that affected the major harvest season. Now, that also notwithstanding, the government did not actually take any pragmatic effort to provide any kind of intervention for these farmers to be able to quickly replant within the same major season for us to have something going. So you see, instead of the $120 million given to them by the World Bank, they actually spent that to import maize and rice, where they could have given farmers irrigation materials, water pumps, and generators to now plow back the mitigation. That didn't happen. Now, going into the minor season, because that was also getting to election time, government was fixated, the previous government was fixated on election. So they imported this to do election campaign. Now it failed. Okay, so the lean season, the dry season did not also get any support from government. This is the result of what the previous government has done, and that's why we are feeling the pain this point in time. When it comes to ginger, you know, ginger takes a long time to produce. It's not like the other vegetables. It's a root product, which is a vegetable that we use. Now, when it comes to tomatoes, Burkina Faso is now adding value to their tomatoes. So obviously, the best tomatoes are going to go into the factory. What is going to left for us to import into Ghana is going to be small. So we are seeing the prices of tomatoes also going up. What we need to do now is to drastically put in support for farmers, give them the critical support that they need now, also provide the drought-resistant intervention so that even if we get any drought spell, which we believe strongly based on the weather, as it stands that we haven't recorded any heavy downfall of rain. So we are projecting that we are going to experience some form of drought spell. This is the time the government needs to start looking at where are the interventions.
And on that agricultural note, we cap off our business update. Handing over back to Sweetie Abochi.
Thank you, Ben, for bringing us business updates. And that wraps up the news bulletin on the AM show. Guess who's joining us on News Review? Nanaya Chapim Jantwa, former General Secretary of the CPP, and George A.C., former Communications Director for NATBO. Please stay. We're back in a bit.